Have you ever felt the more you understand, the lonelier you become? You connect well with others, but no one truly gets you. You speak less, not because you're shy, but because no one's on your wavelength. Sound familiar? You're not alone. This is something many intelligent people are going through. But why is that? Isn't intelligence supposed to make us happier? Now it's time to unpack the real reason behind this. Why do intelligent people often feel lonely? Intelligent people tend to think deeply. They don't just ask what, they ask why and what does it mean. While others are content with small talk, they often find those conversations too shallow. It's not that they don't want to connect. It's just hard to find someone who matches their depth for a real conversation. Not out of arrogance, but simply because their way of seeing the world is so different. Intelligent people don't just look for friends or partners. They seek empathy, genuine emotional and intellectual connection. That's why they're selective, not out of arrogance, but because they clearly know what they want and need. They don't easily settle for half-hearted relationships. The more they understand themselves, the harder it is to open up just for the sake of it. Their relationships are usually few, but deep. But to find the right person, sometimes it takes a long time. Intelligence often comes with independence. They believe they can handle everything on their own, even sadness. They're great at analyzing emotions, but not so great at expressing them. They rarely say what they truly feel. On the outside, they seem fine, but inside, there's a storm of unspoken thoughts. It's not that they don't want to share. It's just they fear being judged. Or maybe, no one has the patience to really listen. And so, loneliness slowly becomes familiar, a habit that's hard to break. When you're sensitive enough to read others' emotions, you also quickly notice what's fake and what's real. For intelligent people, even a hint of insincerity is enough to turn them off. They're not judging others. They just can't fake enthusiasm or agreement when they feel nothing inside. So, they begin to withdraw. They become more selective about environments and the people they let in. And that, in turn, makes their circle even smaller. Intelligent people don't just think deeply, they also tend to overthink. Every action, every word, can occupy their mind for hours. This overanalysis makes them cautious in communication. They fear that if they speak honestly, they'll be misunderstood. If they say too little, they'll seem cold. And gradually, they choose silence, not because they don't want to share, but because they don't know where to start to truly be understood. Loneliness isn't about having no one around. It's about having no one who understands the complex world inside them. Intelligent people are not easily satisfied with simply getting through the day. They constantly ask questions like, what am I living for? Does this job truly matter? Is this relationship really worth keeping? And when you think that deeply, you start to feel different, out of place, among people who are just existing. Not because you're better, but because you see everything on a deeper level. And sometimes, that depth makes you feel alone. In society, sometimes you need a bit of performance to fit in. But intelligent people usually aren't good at that, and they don't want to be. It's hard for them to pretend they're happy when they're not. Hard to flatter someone when they don't mean it. Hard to smile just to ease the mood. This honesty, though admirable, often creates distance. They don't fit into casual chit-chat, and others feel uncomfortable when they're too real. The result? A person who lives truthfully, but is seen as cold, and ends up lonely. Intelligent people are often introverts. They draw energy from being alone, where they can observe, reflect, and truly understand themselves. While most people find joy in social gatherings, they feel most at peace in their own world, reading a book, listening to music, or simply thinking that there's nothing wrong with this introspection. But it also means they show up less, share less, and gradually, they're misunderstood as distant or cold. Loneliness doesn't come from having no one around. It comes from having so much inside and no one to truly understand it. If you're feeling lonely, don't be too quick to see it as something bad. Sometimes, loneliness is the stepping stone to deeper self-understanding. It's the phase where you detach from the crowd to return to your true self. Intelligent people aren't lonely because they're not good enough. They're lonely because they're on a journey of profound growth. And when you finally meet someone who truly gets you, you'll realize every moment of waiting, every day of solitude was worth it.